Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal, second live show of the day. There was a lot to talk about today, and in this one, let's talk about the latest on Eze, Rodrygo. No Zubimendi announcement as of yet, but there's news on Mosquera as well, and also Mikel has a new assistant at Arsenal. Obviously, one of our assistant managers has left. He's now joined Parma as the new permanent manager, and there has been a few changes in our board and also in our managerial team this summer and also from last year, starting with Edu. So there has been changes for sure. But before that, let's talk about Viktor Gyokeres and the latest on him. What's the latest on Viktor Gyokeres? Is this the striker we are going to get? The striker that many Arsenal fans really want. So what's the latest on him? My understanding is that Viktor Gyokeres' representatives were in Portugal for showdown talks with Sporting Lisbon to try and trash his deal out. And to trash his deal out, there is a growing optimism that his side and from Arsenal that they can get it over the line. Gyokeres is the clear favorite now to make that move to Arsenal. No deal is done until it's done, but there's a growing optimism Arsenal are finally going to get Gyokeres as their new number 9. So it started with me saying, Sesko to Arsenal is 80%, Gyokeres is 20, down to 70%, and 30 for Gyokeres. To 50-50 now, it's looking that like Gyokeres is the favorite to join Arsenal. Arsenal trying to push for the deal. The player wants to join Arsenal, but there's obviously the thing going on with Sporting. Sporting promised him that he'll be leaving for less than 60 million this year. But as soon as the transfer window opened, they changed their minds and they said, I don't know what you're talking about. We want close to 80 million. But Sami Mokbel reported earlier that to get a deal done for either Gyokeres or Sesko is going to cost us around 70 million. So I think what we are trying to pull here is a deal plus add-ons for late and maybe in installments. I think that is what you wanted to do with Sesko according to reports. For Gyokeres, I'm not sure what you are trying to pay. What's the exact amount you're trying to pay? If it's what are the add-ons you're trying to include and all that. But I think you need to get a player like this. When a player like this becomes available, you have to try and get him. So the Sesko one is looking complicated at the moment. Even if you didn't want Gyokeres before because you think he plays in Portugal is not good enough because of his age, whatever. At the moment, the Sesko one is not looking like it's going to be done. So it had to be one of the two. If you're not going to get one of the two, you're going to have to drop down to your third option, which is Watkins. And the fourth option, I don't know who the fourth option is. There's not too many options right now. Like if you miss out on Gyokeres and Sesko, where are you going to start again? Because right now you're already heading into 5th of July. How are you going to start moving around for a strike again? That is how teams start to panic buy, and Arsenal's done that a lot with Raheem Sterling, with Andre Santos. Back in the day, we've always done some panic buying at the end whenever we've had a heavy loss, or whether we've after maybe the team that you're competing with has won like 3 games in a row, we go and we panic buy, or a couple of injuries, you wait until you have a couple of injuries to panic buy. No need to panic buy right now. We know you want a striker. I wanted a striker since last year. Some of you wanted a striker since 2 years ago. January, we definitely needed a striker. Right now, it doesn't look like it's going to be Sesko. Gyokeres is open to joining Arsenal. Go and get the player. This is the player we need at Arsenal. Go and get him. We need a striker. We've not had a striker like a Gyokeres since like Aubameyang. And even for Aubameyang, the last couple of years at Arsenal, he was basically playing as a left winger. So we haven't really had anyone who can play as a central striker every single game and he can perform. Gyokeres would be the one. It's not just in Portugal. He's played in England before in the Championship, one of the hardest leagues to play in, and he has scored goals there as well. He's provided assists there as well. And right now, he's heading to his prime in terms of age. He's 27, so he's heading to his prime. So that is this would be exciting. If you get Gyokeres, that would be exciting. I think most fans at the beginning of the transfer window, many people wanted Gyokeres. If you miss out on both Gyokeres and Sesko can end up with Watkins, that one I wouldn't like that at all. Again, not because Watkins is a bad striker. As I said, if you want to get Gyokeres and Watkins, go ahead. I have no problem. Watkins is a very, very good striker. If he can come and be a second choice of the club, Watkins can score a lot of goals. He scored more goals than what we have in the team right now. If Watkins was to play for Arsenal today, he would score more goals than our current strikers. That is the truth. But missing out on Gyokeres and Sesko as your plan A and your plan B, and you end up with the plan C, that if you thought you should have been getting, you should have just have gotten him in January and we'd have tried and win something from January, because there was no need to wait for Watkins all the way to July and get him right now. Obviously, he's also past 30, so yeah, that wouldn't be looking good. If you are to get Gyokeres and then you also want to add Watkins, go ahead. I think Watkins is a very good player, but not Watkins as your first option right now, because it just wouldn't make sense, man, because you just might have well just got him in January. There was no need of not getting him in January and telling us to wait for the Anderson to get better attackers. So Gyokeres is the guy. It looks like right now it's gone to Gyokeres 60%, Sesko 40% for the first time in this transfer window. Many journalists are reporting that, yeah, the one for Sesko is looking a bit complicated, and the fact that Gyokeres has said he wants to join Arsenal and Sesko hasn't really said yet that he wants to join Arsenal, apart from following Arsenal on Instagram. I don't know why he did that recently as well. I don't know. So we don't know what is going on in both camps, but right now it's looking like the Gyokeres deal is far much likelier to happen, because it looks like his camp as well is pushing for the deal. So we are more likely to see what is on the right than on the left. So let's see what happens with the Gyokeres deal. If we can get it before transfer window, we've been told that before the preseason. We've been told that once the deal done before preseason, and that is training starts next week, and the first game is the following week after that. So we don't have too much time, and there's other games that haven't been announced, like we're going to play Bilbao and Villarreal, I think, at the Emirates before the season starts, and there's always some closed doors friendly even before traveling to America, and this time Asia. We're probably going to play like a couple of behind closed doors matches, so let's see. Hopefully Gyokeres is there by then. He would be a very, very good signing. Ben Jacobs, I mean, you talked about this early. There hasn't been any updates that much, but Eze is keen on a move to Arsenal. There's a clause there, 68 million. If Arsenal make an approach, I think there's a realistic chance they can do a bid, or they'll do a bid. So Ben Jacobs says the realistic chance we can do a bid for Eze. Let's see how long that is going to take. The clause is payable in installments. I think we were told 3 installments, so 20 million, 20 million, 20 million plus 8 million in add-ons, because some of the money goes to the players, some to Crystal Palace, and some to his former club. So I actually don't think we talked about this on the live show. I actually just remembered we didn't cover this on the live show. The interest became concrete about 10 days ago. Arsenal are serious about Eze. I'm expecting a bid. I'm expecting that bid to be below the release clause, and I'm expecting that bid to be within the next 2 weeks. So that is before preseason. If we can be able to do all that, that would be super exciting. In that meeting at the weekend, so there was a meeting between Eze's camp and Arsenal. There were senior football people from Arsenal pitching to the Eze camp. This was not just we like you, we might go for you. This was a discussion about numbers. So right now, it's not a case of whether we want Eze. Arsenal is asking for the money. You know, what money do you want? How much are we talking about? What are your wage demands and all that? That is great. So in terms of that, there is progress there, and at the moment, I think it's only Arsenal that are really pushing for him. But I'm sure if like Crystal Palace would say today, yep, we want 60 million, Eze is going. I don't think we are going to have like a clear path to sign Eze. For Rice, we did not have a clear path. Man City was there bothering us. Even for Havaz and Ryan, all these guys, there's no clear path. Teams like Real Madrid and Bayern were in the mix, and we've seen it. Zubimendi, Liverpool, and Real Madrid were in the mix. We never really have like a clear path to these players. With Eze at the moment, and even Gyokeres as well, it's looking like some sort of clear path. There's no one else really trying to, spend that money right now to pay for them right away. And these are players I would take right away, man. Like no waiting. Imagine having Eze and Gyokeres there. That boosts our forward options right away, man. We've been crying for forward players last season. The previous season it was Saka doing a lot of our attacking, and unfortunately, Havaz and Trossard ended 2 seasons ago really well, scoring numerous goals. But last season, not having Saka in the team, and Martinelli not performing, and Havaz had scored 9 goals, yes, but he got injured for 2-3 months. Jesus, he started scoring a couple of goals, a hat-trick here, a brace there, boom, injured. Like we did not have any sort of consistency from anyone. And even when Saka came back from the injury, you could tell he was not on that level yet. He needed to to get back to speed, which he couldn't be able to. Hopefully next season he'll be back to that. No, I think he will, no doubt. And then now, Trossard was, not on top form as well. So we were really struggling. We had to literally depend on Merino to be our attack. And he actually did an incredible job. But a team in our position, trying to win a league and trying to compete with Real Madrid and PSG in the Champions League, there's no point where we should be depending on Merino to play as a striker and a midfielder to play as a left back and a midfielder to play as a right back and a defensive midfielder to play as a striker. No, we should not be in that case at all. So let's hope we have enough options next, and that is what we need to do. Have enough options. Maybe not even just one striker. If you want to get Watkins alongside Gyokeres, go for it. I wouldn't mind having two strikers at Arsenal. It's been long since we had that as well. I think it was Aubameyang and Lacazette, and we have to go back to 2018 for that, when we had Aubameyang and Lacazette, and we saw the kind of impact they had in 2019 to help us get to the Europa League final. If you have two strikers, different options in the team, it helps you. When one striker is injured, there's another one is out of confidence, the other one hopefully is in and shining at the moment. So let's see. But that's the latest on Eze as well. This would be an absolutely exciting signing for 68 million total package. That would be incredible, man. And Tottenham have always wanted this player, but they've kind of pulled out right now because they know Arsenal are keen on getting him, and the player used to play for Arsenal as well, so that helps us. And there's a lot of spots for Eze to play at Arsenal, a lot of different formations for us to play with Eze in the team. He can start ahead of Odegaard, he can come on for Odegaard, he can play next to Odegaard as a second number 10. He can play as the 8, and his defensive numbers are also good compared to our players. I think he won the most grand duels, more than any Arsenal player. So his defensive work is really, really good as well. And I think in a couple of aspects like tackles and stuff, it's only like Rice and Saliba who are ahead of him. I was very surprised when I read that his numbers defensively are also very, very good. So you can actually use him as a number 8 in a game where we need to attack and not worry that, he's just going to walk around. No, Odegaard usually comes back and, defends and creates from like a defensive position, and Eze can come back and do the same. That is great. His defensive numbers are also great. So let's see with Eze if we can pull this deal and get this deal over the line. That would be super exciting. Havaz. This is for the people who always comment and say, why can't we let Havaz go instead? Sammy Mokbel says there are understood to be several clubs in Germany keeping a close eye on Kai Havertz's situation heading into next summer, when he will have 2 years left on his contract. So right now, I don't think Havaz is going to be sold. Next year, might be. Now, after next year, he's going to have 2 years remaining on his contract. Again, I'm different. I don't feel like Havaz is completely useless player. Sell him for 5 million today. You don't do that with a player who starts for Germany, and he was still our top scorer last season. Whether we like it or not, you don't just throw him and sell him for 5 million. You don't do that. But one thing I definitely agree is giving Havaz 280,000 per week was crazy. I do not know who made that decision, but that was crazy. Giving him the most money out of any Arsenal player, that was crazy. I do not know who made that decision. I don't even think he should be in the top 5. I think the top 5 should be like Saka, Saliba, Gabriel, Rice, and I would say maybe Odegaard. Those should be our top 5 earning players. It shouldn't be Havertz and Gabriel Jesus and those guys. Now, for Jesus, I know we were signing him from Man City, so maybe that was one of the ways that we could have attracted him to Arsenal by giving him more money. But if you look at our list of highest paid players, there's a lot of errors there, and we should be changing it. So hopefully we do change that around, because we've given Gabriel a new contract. Saliba and Saka, if you want to keep them, I'm sure they'd want to stay. But if you want to convince someone like a Saliba to stay, and if Madrid are offering him like 300,000 a week, we might have to do the same. So those are the players that should be highest in terms of getting paid, and not Havaz. I do not know who made that decision of giving him 280,000. That was too crazy. But going into next summer, there's a chance. Now, depending on what happens next season and in the World Cup as well. If Havaz next season goes and scores 15 goals and he has a very good World Cup and he helps Germany get very, very far, then Arsenal will be like, we actually want more than what we paid for him, more than the 65 million, because Arsenal will be like, he was not on form at Chelsea, and, we bought him for 65 million. Now he's on form. He's been scoring goals. He's been our top scorer maybe for 2-3 seasons. If he's our top scorer next season, Arsenal will be like, now we need more money from anyone who wants to get him, and that would be okay. And especially if he has a good World Cup as well for Germany and any international games between now and then, they're not just going to sell him for 30 million. Now, another reason I don't think Arsenal is going to sell Havaz is that is the main reason, the money. I don't think Arsenal will want to make a loss like just a couple of years after. And also, they look at it as a business too. In terms of age, Havaz is still very young. So he still has like another 15 years in the top flight. So by next year, if Arsenal want to sell him for a lot of money, they can actually convince us of the teams and be like, hey, Havaz is nowhere near his prime yet. He's only 25 at that point, or 26. He still has 4 or 5 years before he gets to 30. Maybe that could be part of the pitch. But it also depends on whether Arsenal want to sell him, and also depends on whether Havaz has to go. Many players, especially a player who's the most paid player at Arsenal, highest paid player, he can just decide, hey, I'm just going to finish my contract first, and then I'll see where I'll go after that. So yeah, with the Havaz situation, I do not have an idea what would happen. Surprises happen. Like I did not know Tomiyasu was going to cancel his contract today. I thought he was going to stay. So you never know. You might hear someone in Germany today has made a bid of 65 million to Arsenal, and you might hear Arsenal considering it. So yeah, we do have changes. And Andrea Bat is a very big change in the team. He's a very good negotiator. You never know. He might sit down with the board and tell them, listen, we've gotten 65 million. I've managed to get 65 to 70 million from Bayern Munich or someone. They want Havaz right now, not next summer. And that could happen. So, yeah. I don't know. Let's see what is going to happen in Havaz. But the 280,000 per week, that was too crazy. But let's see what happens with that, according to Sammy Mockbell. Fabrizio said earlier today that Arsenal winger Leandro Trossard has signed with new representatives. DH Sports and Entertainment Agency will now be in charge of his future now. It's not always the case. I think they've also clarified that it's not the obvious case that he's gotten new agents that he wants to leave Arsenal. But usually that is the case. Whenever a player gets a new agent or a new agency group, it's like they're trying to look for a new club. So again, with Trossard and Martinelli, we literally have no idea. So again, fair play to what Andrea Bata has already done so far, but he has a lot of work to do, obviously. That's why we had to get someone like an Andrea Bata, because of the experience. So again, I do not agree that Paul was saying, Andrea Bata is too slow. There's so much to do. There's so much to do, man. He's already been able to give Gabriel and Lewis Kelly a new contract. We have the thing with Saka and Saliba and Nwaneri as well, new contract situations, Fabio Vieira, Nelson, all these guys. And we are literally trying. Sterling went back to Chelsea. We kind of have to replace him. There's contracts that are expiring. And then there's players like Neto as well. We didn't have a second choice goalkeeper after Neto left. Andrea Bat is not the one who signed Neto and Sterling. So there was so much to do. And we are also telling him that, hey, we also need to finally have a striker. We finally need to have a big left winger. That's a lot to do. If he's able to do, I doubt he's going to be able to do all of that by the end of July. Some others are going to carry on until next month, probably Fabio Vieira, Nelson. You're going to find out what is going to happen with them next month. But that is a lot of work to do. We are basically asking him to sign 7-8 players and get us good money if you're going to sell Martinelli, if you're going to sell Zinchenko and all that. So I think, for us to usually sit down and think, Arsenal are doing nothing. But I'm sure someone like an Andrea Bat is like working 21 hours out of those 24 hours, because all these deals that you're trying to do, I'm sure the phone is ringing throughout. I'm sure these people are traveling throughout to try and get deals done. Hopefully, though, what most fans care about is that the deals actually get done. So let's hope that by the time we get to preseason, if players like Gyokeres and Eze are there, and if on top of that he's been able to get Zubimendi in installments, if he's able to get Eze in installments and get Gyokeres in installments as well, that will be absolutely incredible work for someone who just joined Arsenal in March. So let's see how it goes. But Trossard, that's one to keep an eye on. What is going to happen to him, or Martinelli? Who is going to stay? Who's going to leave? I have a feeling that by next year, after next season, heading into the following season, I don't think Trossard and Martinelli will be both of them. I think both of them will not be Arsenal players by then. I think as of now, it depends on who's going to leave first and who's going to stay for next season. Or is it going to end up being both of them staying? Let us see. So let's some Havaz and Trossard. Team News and Ticks are saying Arsenal are not planning to announce Zubimendi today due to events yesterday. So yeah, Zubimendi was supposed to be announced yesterday, but yeah, it wasn't announced. Again, I don't know how accurate this is because we have announced some departures. No problem with not announcing Zubimendi yesterday because of the Jota situation. But how long can you wait though? But yeah, or Arsenal using this as a. Hopefully they're not. No, it's a bad taste, and yeah, if are they using that as a way of trying to cover themselves in terms of not maybe finalizing the Zubimendi deal yet with Sociedad and all that? But let's see though. Zubimendi is already an Arsenal player, so yeah, we also have a tendency of doing that a bit, of signing a new player and then we literally milk it completely until the point of before even announcing everyone is already tired of the new signing. But yeah, so sorry, I've hit the mic. Zubimendi is an Arsenal player already, but yeah, it feels like Zubimendi has already been an Arsenal player for like 5 months already by this point. So anyway, though, when he gets announced, we'll welcome him to Arsenal. Absolutely no problem. He's going to be a key figure in that Arsenal midfield now. He's new to England, and all our midfielders have basically left. So yeah, Zubimendi will be a key figure in our team next season. Let's see how it goes. Now, let's talk about Mosquera. We haven't talked about him today at all. Cristhian Mosquera has informed Valencia of his no to the renewal offer. Valencia has rejected a second offer from Arsenal that slightly exceeds 10 million euros. They have not come close to the 14-15 million euros. They want 20 million euros. So I think eventually we'll get to like 18 million there to get Mosquera. I think that is going to be the case. Again, for these cheaper deals, I would prefer them to get done quickly, like the Nørgaard and Nørgaard one. But again, as I said, if that is how Bata does his business, there's a lot of things to do. I'm just going to give him his time. As long as by the end of the transfer window, we have everything we need, it's okay. If they want to give 11 million, 12 million, 13 million, as long as Mosquera is here as well by the end of the month, that is absolutely fine. But yeah, let's see. And if you're trying to save the money with all these players so that you can get those top players like Eze, well and good. I have no problem with that. Now, Mikel Arteta has a new assistant. So obviously our assistant manager left. Our assistant manager left Arsenal. Is a very young age and is now the coach for Parma. Very, very good guy, very top guy, according to what the players have been saying and what the manager has been saying and what the rest of the Arsenal managerial team has been saying. Very good guy, but we needed to replace him. Now, Cazorla was mentioned as a possible replacement for him to come and be assistant manager to Arteta, but I'm not sure how ready Cazorla was, or does he want to go straight into management right away and all that? We're not sure about that. Turns out it is Gabriel Heinze. My goodness, I couldn't remember the last time I mentioned the name Gabriel Heinze. That's a long time. If I remember correctly, I know Heinze played for Man United, and I saw him a bit for Man United and then a lot for Real Madrid, but for Argentina, I definitely saw him a lot. I think he scored in the 2010 World Cup. I remember something like that. Heinze or someone else. That was a defender. I don't know if it was against Nigeria or someone else, but I definitely do remember Heinze scoring a header. If you're watching from Nigeria, you probably know 2010 World Cup. I think, but again, Argentina and Nigeria have played each other so many times, so you might not remember. But yeah, I think Heinze. That's what I remember about Heinze. Another thing I remember about Heinze, Gabriel Heinze is a hard head, so we might be getting a few yellow cards next season with him and Arteta there. But yeah, he will be Arsenal's assistant manager next season, or second assistant, obviously, after our airports guy. So what has David Onstein had to say about Gabriel Heinze? This is what is hard to say about it. Let me get the article very, very quickly from David Onstein and The Athletic. This is what they've had to say. Okay, so first in the tweet, it says Gabriel Heinze joining us as part of coaching staff. Former Argentina international defender being added to group after Carlos Cuesta became Parma head coach. So he's not the direct assistant. That's Steinberg. Am I saying the name right? That's Albert. Albert is the assistant manager to Arteta, but Heinze will be like the second assistant now. So what has been said about him? Former Man United and Real Madrid defender Gabriel Heinze is joining Mikel Arteta's coaching staff at Arsenal. Heinze's appointment comes after Carlos Cuesta departed the club to become Parma's new head coach. Arteta and Heinze were teammates at PSG during the 2001-2002 campaign. So yeah, Arteta actually played with Heinze, and Heinze was a great leader. And I remember he was another versatile player. He used to play centre back and left back as well. That I remember about him. And by the way, another Gabriel. Yeah, this is another Gabriel we're bringing into Arsenal. How many are those now? We'll have, if Martinelli stays, we'll have so many Gabriels in the team. At the start of the season, Arteta spoke about his time at PSG, saying the other inspirations were Pochettino and Heinze. Those two were next to me all the time, behind me, and they were guiding me in everything I had to do in my professional life, how I had to understand the game, and they were inspirational to me. Heinze, who's 47, has held managerial roles at Argentine top flight side Cruz. Yeah, I think he also passed through Atlanta. Heinze's playing career saw him win league titles at Man United, Real Madrid, and Marseille, as well as an Olympic gold medal with Argentina in Athens in 2004. He won 72 caps for his country and was runner-up in the Copa America twice. So very, very experienced. He will join the coaching staff at Arsenal. That includes assistant Albert Stevenberg. Yeah, I forgot to say the Van Berg. Set piece coach Nicolas Silva and goalkeeping coach Inaki Kana. The three have all been the club since 2021, so those ones have been with that stuff for a long time. Heinze will be the new one, but he's very involved. Heinze is very emotional in the touchline, so we will definitely see him next season. Maybe Arteta will need, I don't know who's going to be calming who down, but yeah. Again, the kind of appointments we've been making recently have been the let's win now kind of appointments, getting people like Andrea Barton, Gabriel Heinze, the tough people right away. Yeah, maybe there's a few changes, and also you're letting go of a lot of players and bring in some sort of leaders like Cristhian, Nørgaard, and those kind of guys. So we've definitely added a lot of experience because, if you compare Heinze and Carlos Cuesta, Heinze is almost double the age of Carlos Cuesta in terms of experience as well. So let's see, though. This will be very interesting. Former Man United player, by the way. So let's see. That doesn't matter, though. The former assistant to Klopp is now the assistant to Guardiola. It doesn't really matter. Jordan Davis says Gabriel Heinze will join up with Mikel Arteta's coaching staff for Arsenal's training camp in Spain next week. So he'll get started right away. And that is not the only change in our board. So again, very, very many changes going on at Arsenal, including this one. Arsenal's highly rated head of recruitment, James Ellis, is set to become the club's new technical director. The Gunners were in talks with former Juventus figure Matteo Tognozzi, but he is now not expected to be appointed. So that is another change in our board. James Ellis is moving from head of recruitment, the club's new technical director. By the way, to understand all of these terms, I also had to sit down to study all of these terms. Technical director, what does he do in the club? Sporting director, what does he do in the club? Head of recruitment, what does he do? Because there's 10, 11 different slots there. So a lot goes on in the board that we don't know about. So all of these guys are usually involved in the transfers. It's not just Arteta and Andrea Barta. All of these guys usually have meetings and all of that. But we only usually hear about the director and the manager because they're the ones who are, up front. So that is another change that we are making to our board at the moment. So a lot is happening at Arsenal at the moment. Definitely a lot is happening. But let's see. Yep. So Nwanko, I was right. So I remember that very well. I think it was a head or something. I know that game was 1-0. That I definitely remember. 2010 was my favorite World Cup ever. So I remember most of the games off-it, but I remember that. That's the one. That's the goal that when I had Heinze, that is the goal that came to my mind right away. Tamina says Zubimendi announced today as Arsenal player. Nope, it doesn't look like it's going to be that. Mr. Glenn, big up star. If Arsenal sign Gyokeres, Eze, Rodrygo, tell me how I can line up both in the same team. Eze and Rodrygo, the only way you can do it is Rodrygo at left wing and then Eze and Odegaard as two number 10s, and then we choose who's going to start that game between Rice and Zubimendi. Now, you're not going to play those kind of teams every day. You're going to need Zubimendi and Rice on the pitch for most of the games. So if that's the case, it's rotation. So Mubarak, that is all about rotation. I don't want Odegaard to play every single game. I don't want Eze to play every single game. Sometimes you have Odegaard, sometimes you have Eze, sometimes you have Eze on the left, sometimes you have Rodrygo on the left if both of them have been signed. Sometimes you have both Eze and Odegaard, which allows Declan Rice to be rested, or Rice as the 6, and then it allows Zubimendi to be rested. We just need a lot of different things every single game. Let's not be predictable like we were last season. So for me, I'm just excited if you have all of those players. Gyokeres obviously is just a striker. I've talked about Gyokeres, Christopher. I like Sesko because of the 2 foot. Says Precious. He can also play as a winger, yes, but if he doesn't want to join us, there's nothing much you can do about that. Yeah, for me, my preference has always been Gyokeres, even when it was between Gyokeres and Isaac. I preferred Gyokeres. Gilbert says Rodrigo will be on the bench. For us, no. If Rodrigo joins Arsenal, he definitely starts. That is how I feel, especially if you go and spend 70, 80 million, he definitely starts. Now, it depends on after that, if he does play well or if he does adapt to the English game. If he doesn't, then maybe he draws back to the bench. Our club seems not serious. If it's Watkins, why can't they get him in January 2025? Yeah, that is what I'm going to be annoyed with. If you're going to get Watkins either way, you just have got him in January and help us at least win the Carabao Cup or something. Let's get Gyokeres ASAP, says at net. Davey says, Glenn, what if Arsenal sell Havaz to accommodate Gyokeres, Eze and Rodrigo? Depends on how much money then. I'm not selling Havaz for 20, 25 million. I've even seen someone saying selling for 10 million. Now, it depends on the money. And if you also let go of both Martinelli and Havaz, then we are kind of struggling for backup there. That means we'll need another player. So unless you're signing both Gyokeres and Watkins, then we might talk then. But as of now, no. We've already let go of like 6, 7 players. When you're looking to let go of another 3, it depends on the money. I also don't think you can afford to sell both Havaz and Martinelli at the same time, unless you're going to go and get other players as well at the same time. And that will mean you're signing 8, 9, 10 players in the same transfer window. I don't know. If that is the plan, well and good. Hi, Glenn, please. Is it true Arsenal did not... I should have read that before, but yeah, let's finish with that, Musa. Is it possible to get Eze and Rodrigo plus Gyokeres? Then we need young central midfield. I don't know about Lokonga. Nah, Lokonga is not going to stay at Arsenal. Please, Arsenal is not the only one pushing for Eze. Arsenal go and sign Eze. No, at the moment, it's only Arsenal wisdom. We're the only team that is talking about Eze. Tottenham want him, or they wanted him. They've kind of gone to Kudus now. But yeah, if he becomes like clearly available, it's going to be tough to try and get him. It's going to be tougher, but hopefully by then we've already made strides in terms of trying to get him. And again, these days, I do feel like I'm more confident in the transfer window. Back in the day, 5 years ago, I wouldn't have been. These days, whenever I hear Arsenal want Eze and then I hear Man City and Liverpool also want Eze, I'm like, that's okay. We are going to get him. I'm not like, oh my goodness, Man City also want him. Now, ever since the Declan Rice one, I was like, yes, this is great. When will Arsenal announce Zubimendi? It was supposed to be yesterday. I thought it was now going to be today. But yeah, maybe it's still going to be today later on. Let's see. We are waiting for number 9. Mubarak says, Glenn, tell me about Gabriel Jesus' injury. Do we expect him in preseason? Definitely not. Maybe September or something. Good evening. How are you doing? I'm watching from South Sudan, says Mosquera. We'll have a great transfer this season if we are able to add Gyokeres to our team with Eze, Zubimendi, and a very good left-sided forward, either Lookman, Leao, or Rodrigo. Unfortunately, I don't think Arsenal really wants Lookman like that, and Leao hasn't really been mentioned. Glenn, update me on about Saliba, Gabriel, and Timber, whether they will be available for preseason tour. Saliba, yes, definitely. Gabriel, not there. I'd say Gabriel maybe returns at the end of this month or at the beginning of August or something, and I don't think he's going to be at full pace yet. So hopefully he's available for the Man United game. So yeah, also no need to rush him at all. I don't want us to rush these players back and then we start making players like Gabriel injury prone. I don't want that too. So Kivio stays. Players like Mosquera can get a few minutes or a few games in preseason. So Saliba will be there. Timber, I think, will be there. I think Timber will have recovered by then. Gabriel, I don't think so. I'm doing good, Musa. We talked about Gyokeres already, Joseph. I will do a recap for you. So yeah, people want us to talk about that. We were told yesterday that Gyokeres has agreed 200k per week and a deal of 5 years. What is going on for sure? Diogo Jota, may he so rest in peace. Yes, Emma. So yeah, we were told, Gyokeres has agreed to join Arsenal. Gyokeres wants to join Arsenal, but Sporting have to allow Arsenal to have Gyokeres. So that is the thing. And Sporting have the control right now. So Gyokeres is trying to push for the move, but if they want 80 million, they want 80 million. So you have to do the negotiations the correct way. The more you annoy the Sporting president, the more they'll just say no. And then there's nothing you can do. And then, but hopefully we can still be able to get the player. Let's see. What's causing the delay with the crucial signings? Is it Arsenal? Is it from Arsenal side or the other clubs? I think for someone like a Gyokeres, I think it's both. Because if Arsenal want to pay 60 million and maybe they had an agreement for like Leipzig and Sesko and Arsenal, that is 3 different complications. Because Arsenal last season thought we were going to get him for 50 million. Sesko looked like he wanted to join Arsenal last season. Right now, it doesn't look like he wants to. Leipzig, all of a sudden, they're talking about 85 million. So it's all 3 ways. I also don't agree they're going to pay 85 million for Sesko anyway. So for players like Gyokeres, again, Sporting are going to be very tough in terms of convincing them. For Eze, I don't think we've taken time on Eze. Only really heard about him the other day. So it's the only Gyokeres and Sesko I guess you're talking about. But again, as long as we have the players before preseason, that is what we care about. Is the Martinelli deal true? Says Joseph. Not yet. I mean, Martinelli also has to want to go there. If he doesn't want to go, there's nothing that can be done at all. He has to want to go. Arsenal is the 3 world countries nowadays to say England, Spain, and Brazil. And yeah, we have a lot of Brazilians, Spanish. Yeah, almost the whole coaching team is Spanish. And now we brought in Heinz, who's Spanish speaker as well. England, yeah, there's a point we didn't have many of those. I mean, I guess it just changes with time. There's a time you had more French players. There's a time you had, a couple of Ivory Coast players in the team. All that just changes. So, Is it? I'm watching from Sudan, says Mosquera. Thank you. Yeah, so there's like 3 or 4 comments on it. He used to play for Arsenal. We're about to give him a new contract. So it has to be mentioned. It would be crazy not to mention it. But yeah, if you haven't had, I just saw it literally like just before starting this. I got online. This is like back-to-back days I've gone online and I've just been shocked with the news that I've seen. That is the case. Party has actually been charged now. So it's now a serious case with him. That particular word, you can't mention it on YouTube. You're going to, they might even block your video if you mention that particular word. But the R word. There's another comment I've seen here. Let me look for that comment. Yeah, Party has been charged of assault. What might say, Benjamin? So I'll need to know what the police told. The police told the club, because if they were told not to play him and they decided to play him, that's a very, very big stain. It's already a very big stain on the club, because now if he's been charged, it's now looking like we played him and we ignored everything else. And, it puts a stain on the rest of the players who've been, protecting him and saying Party's a nice guy and all that. It puts a stain on them. I'm sure it's not everyone who knows, but there's definitely someone who knew. So I've already seen people saying whoever knew and allowed that to happen should be sacked, and I'd probably be in conjunction with that. I would definitely agree with that, because that has put a stain on the club. That has put a stain on the manager as well. Now, I don't personally believe like Arteta has something to do with that. If you're a manager of the club, the players are there for you. You can't just say, okay, I'm not going to play Partey at all for the last 3 years. I'm not going to play him. The club have told him there's no problem. You can play the player. There's nothing. I don't believe there's anything Arteta can do unless he goes to the court himself and asks the questions. I personally do not believe there's anything they can do. I think this is just a club matter. So it has to involve everyone in the club, because there's definitely people who knew about it. Now, they've also said online that as of now, he still has a chance to go to court and appeal it, obviously. And they've also told people not to speak about it too much, because at the moment it's still, a serious case, obviously. A very, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a word I'm looking for. I disappeared. But as of now, the thoughts are with the victims. Hopefully, if it happened to them, hopefully they can get the justice they want. And yeah, I do not like men who do that at all. That is they were like literally the worst kind of men in the world. So yeah, if that happened and he has been playing for us, that is a big stain on all of us. Because someone like me, I've been saying that I want Pat to sign a new 1-year deal and stay at Arsenal. Yeah, if that's the case, definitely not. I want him way away from my club for sure. So sensitive, that's the word I was looking for. It's a very sensitive topic. So yeah, they said until it progresses, but it's still very weird that we try to give him a new contract, because it's still very weird that we try to give him a new contract. Very weird. So yeah, anyway, man, he's no longer an Arsenal player, but definitely going to leave a stain on the club. You're still going to hear about it a long time, because he still played for us for 3 years during that period. So yeah, yes, he has been charged 2021 and 2022, and it's not one woman, it's 3. So that even makes it way worse, man. So yeah, that's a serious crime. For me, that's the worst possible crime that you can commit, and yeah, it puts a bad stain and smell on our team and the club that we support. Yeah, and also allowing him and paying him all that money over the last 3 years as well. Again, we'll need to know what the police told the club. If they told him not to play him and he decided to play him, someone has to be sacked. If they told us you can play him and there's no problem, you can play him, it depends, because yeah, you're innocent until proven guilty. That is just the truth. But yeah, now he's officially been charged. So again, the problem is, at the moment, it's looking like it would easily look like Arsenal have been lying to us. Maybe Arsenal are not going to give him a new contract, not because of money, but because of this. So that would mean they've actually been lying to us, and that is that is a big deal. That is a very big deal. So our thoughts are with the victims at this moment. Alfred says, let's pray Partey doesn't go through what Greenwood and Pogba passed. If he's guilty, no, he deserves the worst punishment possible. If he's guilty, for sure. If he's not, sorry to him, but if he is, yeah, he deserves the worst punishment for sure. So yeah, that's the latest that has happened today. That is what is trending online right now. It's not even transfers. That is what people are speaking about, Partey and all of that. And I've already seen a lot of comments already, saying, who's been in charge of this? Is it Edu? Is it Arteta? I don't think it's any of them. It's the club in general, and I don't think someone like Arteta can do anything. I don't think Arteta can just stop playing a player if the player is available for him and he's been told he can play him. I'm sure. I don't know what is going on behind the scenes, but if he's been told to play the player, he cannot do anything. If he's been told not to play the player and he decided to play the player, now that is a different case. So yeah, the player was still employed by Arsenal. The player was still being played every single week. So there's that as well. There's news that has come out 10 minutes ago from Goldberg CFC saying Viktor Gyokeres is more likely to sign for Arsenal now. So that is great. Very sad for Thomas. If he's guilty, very sad for the victims, not really for Partey. Those are the worst kind of men. So anyway, that's a sensitive topic. Let's see how it goes. But yeah, he's not an Arsenal player anymore, but it's still going to leave a stain on our club. And obviously, as I told you guys, Arsenal is a club that is we always call ourselves a classic club. So that would be a big stain on the club, because we always call ourselves a classic club out of any other team. So yeah, that would be tough. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate you. Hopefully, if you didn't check out the previous live stream, we talked about Tomiyasu, Zinchenko, Martinelli, Eze, Rodrygo, all those guys, and also Sterling, Tierney, and all that. So yes, thank you for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.